All right, so if you watched the last video, we parted out a rusty red srt4. So basically, just a quick walk around. This is what we took. I could keep these doors, but oh my goodness, I got to the point where it was just like, doors don't move. Nobody really buys doors. Everybody wants parts off of them, so I did take a lot of parts out of them. I might even pull these lower skirtings, but I've got piles of those. Pulled the wing, even though the trunk had no rust. I think I got 2 or 3 other ones. They just don't go nowhere. If the paint was perfect on it, you know, someone might have an interest in it. So I tried to cut the roof off in case someone wanted to do a sunroof delete, but it fell and put a dent in it. So all I can say is I tried. So there's that. Let's take a look at what we were able to salvage. So I cut the entire front core support off, if you've seen the body. I got both the fenders, even though it has a dent. This is the hood, even though it has some rust. This is a lot of the stuff I'm getting rid of. The fuel tank, I'm going to pull the assembly out, and I'm going to keep the filler neck. Right now I don't have any of those, so I'm going to keep that. I have other fuel tanks. Normally the only thing that ever goes bad on these is these shields right there. So, you know, with that being said, that's the fuel tank. So we have the set of 4 wheels here that we pulled off. Here is the seats. These were nothing really nice. You know, there they are. The wing, it's okay. Needs painted. It'll go on the pile. The dash, like I said, I'm busy working on getting stuff cleaned up in here. The dash is an 05 dash, all right? I'm stuck. All right, let's just set this down. So, meanwhile, I was trying to figure out what was the deal here that someone had going on at one time. It looks like something might have gotten hot and melted through that, or something got hit there. I'm not sure. We got scrapes right there that weren't there. So I'm going to strip this down. We're going to throw away the main part of the dash. This I'll keep. These always get damaged. People use those. There's some pigtails off of here. The speaker ends were cut. I'll determine if the harness is any good when I'm pulling it apart. The rad, you know, what do you do with an old used rad? I don't know. I throw it back on my pile. The fans are what are actually the most expensive part of that, because you can get the radiators and the condensers are actually still pretty cheap. We have the front assembly. I pulled this off because I'm going to be saving the pump, the lines, and the rack and pinion. And I'm going to pull the knuckles off of here. There is some rust on this. If it doesn't look bad, I'm probably just going to throw the suspension K on my pile. I pulled the front assembly. I mean, I know there was nothing wrong with it, so I just kept it. Here's 5 gallons. I did fill this twice and filled my lawnmower up, so we got 10 gallons of gas out of it. Here's our back. I just pull these this way off them spindles. These are the backing plates. They have pretty much new e-brake shoes with hardware on them. So I'll wrap them up with these cables and I'll set them on my pile to the side. Saved a couple bolts. Here's our clutch sleeve, alternator, starter, some AC lines, some brackets off the motor, the axle, the washer bottle. The motor mounts look like they're going to be okay. The battery tray is pretty nice. Some different things. AC unit. I see a lot of cars without these over top of our shifter cables. Dipstick. Skirting. All right. Car had a catch can. Here's the BCs. I'm going to see how they clean up. I mean, they're still, you know, a couple $100 set of coils if somebody needed a set. They're just not really nice ones. Rear window cranks, steering column, rear carpet. There's the engine bay harness, the radio, that speaker was in it. Some of the stuff that's on top of here came from that car. So like seatbelt, the seatbelt, the cowl panel, the wiper, the other pieces here all came off that car. There's the rear rotors and those spindles. Here we had front rotors that were pretty nice with new brake pads, so we have those. There's also a list of stuff that I got rid of already. So it was a cold air intake, the engine, the tail lights, the intake manifold. It had an AGP fork in it, the blow off valve, hard pipe, the brake, all the brake calipers, one of the wheel wells that was good, the AFR gauge. There were some emblems on the front, a nostril emblem and a bumper emblem. The headlights, the engine harness. I think we got rid of the intermediate axle. I got rid of the vacuum lines and the solenoids. We still have a clutch right here that we pulled off. It looks ugly. The paint's starting to come off of it. It's an older ACT, but it drove fine. It seemed to work. There's still some life left in it. So, you know, that's something if somebody needs something and they want something cheap. You know, those flywheels, they're over 400 bucks. You know, that clutch is worth less than that. So that is some of the stuff that we actually got off of this car. Oh, we got more stuff here. So there was, okay, the rear bumper cover is right here, and there's the front bumper cover. The front bumper cover has a little crack in it. The front one had a little bit of, or the rear one had a little bit of a melt spot there. It did have the MPX exhaust set on it for the exhaust. That stuff was not bad. Supposedly that's going to be getting picked up today. Found somebody that was asking me for a set, local, so they're just going to come pick that up, and we're just going to go from there. Really close to getting our initial investment back. This car, there just really wasn't much there. I mean, if you start picking at some of this stuff, there's a couple bucks here in some of these parts, but the problem is I've already got piles of all of this stuff. So it's all, I don't know, just stuff that doesn't go anywhere, stuff that just, you know, very rarely sells. I mean, there's a couple people that need these things because they're starting to go bad. They're having problems finding them new. You know, they're both good. They're both tested. So, you know, that's a couple bucks. These are a couple bucks. I mean, this cowl panel is really nice. You know, I got a pile of stock shifters. I don't know how many of those I need. I have the cluster. I probably have 10 or 15 of these clusters. So, you know, it's all just parts that just sit. They just sit and take up space. So right now is time to get this mess cleaned up, somewhat organized. I'm going to be putting some of these parts away. I have certain locations for them. Some stuff goes up in the attic, other stuff goes out on that pile. That dash needs stripped. I'm loading the rest of the junk that I started here. I started a junk pile. Some of these are Mustang parts, but a lot of this stuff is the neon stuff that I didn't use, and an old engine block. This was probably good when I brought it here, but it's been sitting out so long, we're just going to chuck it. It's probably got too much rust in the cylinder walls. So that's just how the cookie crumbles, man. We got another big project coming, full body swap on a car. I'm going to try to get the Orange Beast in here. I've got the transmission sitting down here and another engine because of the crank trigger issues to install into that car, and hopefully we can have that one up and running and to the show in July at Chrysler Carlisle. So with that, man, I'm just going to end this one. I've been blabbering now 10 minutes, so I'm out.